You might know I'm a big fan of the Revstar series by Yamaha, and today we have another one to show you in full detail. It has a matte finished flame top, a Bigsby, full-size Filtertrons, and some sick fretboard inlays. It's the 720B. The goal is one day to have at least tried every single Revstar option out there. So far, I've owned the 502T in the past, and I currently own the 502. Both of those guitars are P90 filled, and they are excellent. I'd been looking for one of these 720Bs because the full-size Filtertrons really interested me. Even just looking at them, it was something kind of different and really cool. We'll have plenty of chances to hear those in action in between looking at the specs on this guitar. Spec-wise, let's start up at the headstock. I've said it before on the Revstars, I really like this shape. I think it's unique while not being offensive. And because the front of this guitar body is a matte finish, they do the same to the front of the headstock. I think that's a really cool detail. The tuners on the 720B are a slight upgrade to the ones on my 502. They look the same from the front, but on the back you'll notice these are locking tuners. And they are really good. I may even look into trying to find a set for my 502. As far as the nut goes, it's made out of a material known as urea, and I had to do quite a bit of research to find out what that was. Seems to be a compound that could be naturally or synthetically produced, and my guess is here probably synthetic. It's used in making plastics and different kinds of resins, and to me that's what this nut feels like. It feels like a decent quality plastic. It's pretty slick, pretty smooth, and it was cut very well. Looking at the neck and fingerboard will catch one of my favorite cosmetic features on this guitar, and that is the fretboard inlays. Normally, I'm a minimalist dot inlay kind of guy, but these remind me of a modern take on the split parallelograms you would get on an ES345, and I've always felt those were really classy. The board itself is made out of rosewood with a fairly flat radius, 13 3/4 inches, and 22 jumbo frets. The back of the guitar is finished in gloss, and that includes the back of the neck. It's a very comfortable profile, 3-piece mahogany, but it is quite full and quite rounded, so just a note for you there. The Yamaha website has all the Revstars coming in at the same neck dimensions, and they have all the measurements there for you to read, just in case you don't have a set of calipers for yourself. Here's everything measurement-wise. We've got the width at the nut, 43 millimeters. The width at the 12th fret, 52.5 millimeters. Thickness at the 1st fret, very precise here, 21.1 millimeters. Thickness at the 12th fret, 25.2 millimeters. And the whole guitar weighs in at 8 pounds, 15 ounces. The guitar body is a double cutaway with a slight offset to it, giving it just a touch of attitude. And as I said with the headstock, I think the shape here is very unique, but not in a way that is ridiculous or makes me do a double take at it because I think something is off. As I said before, the back of the body is gloss, and there are plenty of contours for your comfort while you're playing. The front of the body is matte finished. Yamaha calls it a steel wool satin. And this particular one is in a blue-green that they're calling vintage Japanese denim. We have a layer of flamed maple veneer over a maple top over a mahogany body, so kind of less polish in construction there. I do believe there is another flame color option available and a straight matte black. Nice. You have a tunematic bridge with a Bigsby B50 tailpiece. I'm not a super big vibrato guy, but the Bigsby is super cool to have, and it makes this guitar just look extra awesome. I will say, though, interesting note, that the finish on the Bigsby doesn't match the rest of the hardware. I know it's kind of a minor thing, but I really do feel it just would have been a hair cooler if the Bigsby came in a satin, like the rest of the hardware. For the electronics, there's some interesting stuff that I found accidentally, to be honest with you. Normally, I don't go rummaging into the back of my guitars. As long as everything's working fine, I don't really see it need to. But when this guitar arrived, I bought it used, and the pickups were flopping around in their pickup rings, and the bridge pickup didn't even work at all. So I had to go in there, pull the back panel off, and I found that one of the bridge pickup wires was just floating freely. That's a pretty simple fix. But while I was back there, I did notice that the cavities were painted with what looks like shielding paint, and I really wasn't expecting that at all. However, also, while I was back there, I saw that the volume control is a little alpha pot, the switch doesn't look that sturdy, and the wiring is pretty tiny. Now, I gotta say, after I did my fixes back there, I've not had any issues with this guitar, and even my personal Revstar, I've not had any issues with the electronics, even though I've put that thing through the war. But I do think it's strange, we have all of these nice features on these guitars, and then you go into the electronics, and it's just a little bit short of expectations. At least for me, anyways. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. Now to the pickups. Yamaha calls these the VT5s, and they are full-size Filtertron style pickups. As with some of the other specs on their website, Yamaha will actually give you the makeup of these pickups, and it's pretty neat if you like that kind of info. We've got Alnico 5 magnets, brass base plates, and underwound polyurethane wire for what they are describing as clear, low output tone. They're calling for 4.3K readings in the neck position and 4.8K in the bridge. I do like these pickups, not just because they're cool looking, but I do also think they're unique sounding, and that's always nice to have in your arsenal. I do gotta say though, it took a little bit of adjustment to get the height just right overall, and for the pole pieces themselves, to get these pickups in primo performance. It was a bit of a challenge, but I think well worth the extra time. The controls are fairly simple while having some nice features. First off, three-way switch, very straightforward there. The control knobs are also really cool. I think they're very unique looking while being low-key, kind of an overall theme with this guitar. And there is some nice grip to them. One of them is a standard volume knob, nothing fancy there. The other is your tone knob with a push-pull for what they call the dry switch. You've been hearing it periodically with each demo, as is labeled, and it's basically a low-cut filter. I don't use it a whole lot, to be honest with you, but it is cool to have, and it's not in the way if you choose to avoid it. So, final thoughts. I gotta say, Yamaha always seems to deliver in the Revstar lineup, and the 720B is no exception to that rule. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. And you'll be that really cool guy in the band that plays the special guitar no one can figure out what it is. Or that may not be the case. The Revstars are getting a lot more popular these days, so maybe everybody is going to know what you're playing, but either way, you'll be playing something cool. As always, I've been Joey. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all the cool stuff we have on this channel. I really appreciate all your guys' support. I'll be seeing you soon, and on that note, guys, thanks so much, and take care.